Did you know that most owners are doing something every day that, without realizing it, pushes their dog away? You think you're your furry friend's best friend, but unintentionally, you're sending the wrong message. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal 7 habits that take less than 60 seconds and will completely change how your dog sees you. Ready to discover them? Welcome to Canine Mind, the space where we unravel the canine mind and learn to communicate with our four-legged companion in their own language. Every day, many owners believe their way of showing affection is the right one, but science shows us that simple gestures can send signals of rejection or confusion. Today you'll learn 7 micro-habits that, in less than a minute each, will increase oxytocin, reduce cortisol, and make your dog choose you over any other. Let's start with the one most owners do backward, the welcome home. Imagine the moment you walk through your front door. Your dog goes wild, jumping, spinning, howling, even grabbing things just to release that energy. Most owners, thinking they're correcting the chaos, tell him to sit or simply turn their backs until he calms down. It makes sense at first glance, but inside the dog's brain, that moment is much more than just a fuss. Dogs are pack animals, and when a member returns after being separated, a reunion ritual is triggered, full of greetings, sniffs, and vocalizations. This ritual is one of the most important emotional experiences of the day for your dog. If you interrupt it, even calmly, your dog gets the signal that the ritual has been cut short for no reason, and over time, that excitement transforms into anxiety. Studies have shown that dogs who receive warm and engaged greetings exhibit lower cortisol levels throughout the rest of the day. The solution is simple. When you walk in, give them 30 seconds. Get down to your dog's level, let them sniff you, speak to them in a soft tone, and let the greeting unfold naturally. You're not rewarding chaos. You're completing the biological script your dog has been waiting for all day. Try this, and you'll see how your companion becomes calmer and more connected. Now let's move on to the second habit, eye contact. When you look at your dog and feel that deep connection, science confirms that a surge of oxytocin occurs in both your brains, similar to the bond between a mother and her newborn. But there's a catch. An intense, unblinking stare can be interpreted as a challenge. Dogs read rigid eye movements as a sign of dominance. If you notice your dog looking away, licking their lips, or yawning, it's a sign they're trying to defuse potential tension. The key is a gentle gaze, with eyes slightly squinted and a relaxed head, like when you're talking to someone you feel completely comfortable with. Every morning, when your dog is calmly near you, hold their gaze gently for 5 seconds. You'll see how their tail begins to wag more calmly and their body becomes less alert. What do you think? Tell me in the comments if you've already tried it and how your companion reacted. The third habit focuses on your dog's dominant sense, smell. A dog has around 300 million olfactory receptors, while humans only have about 6 million. Every interaction begins with a sniff that tells them who you are, where you've been, and your emotional state. However, most owners ignore this step and simply touch their dog, often on the head, an area many dogs prefer to avoid. This gesture can trigger a slight startle response because objects coming from above are associated with a threat. Before petting, extend your hand to their nose, allowing them to feel and smell it. When he places his nose on your hand and relaxes, you can gently stroke under his jaw or on his chest. This brief, 3-second process completely changes the texture of each stroke and shows respect for his way of experiencing the world. If you do this consistently, your dog will remember that you are the person who gives him space to identify you before receiving affection. So far, we've covered the first 3 habits that build a solid emotional foundation. If this content is opening your eyes, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next steps, because what follows delves even deeper into your dog's mind. In the next part, we'll explore how to stimulate his brain, how simply being present without an agenda can strengthen your bond, and how to respect his sleep and give him the massage that the pack uses to reinforce belonging. Don't go away, the best is yet to come. Now let's move on to the fourth. Jurabit, that seemingly simple thing that many overlook, but which science shows is one of the most powerful keys to strengthening the bond. Dogs, unlike humans, are proximity animals. They don't need a long walk or a training session to feel safe. It's enough for the owner to be there, present, without demanding anything. When you're reading the newspaper, working on the computer, or simply watching TV, your dog often stays by your side, settles under the table, or lies down at your feet. That subtle gesture is actually a declaration of trust. I'm here because you're my refuge. Studies on the human-canine bond have measured that the mere presence of the owner, without direct interaction, produces a drop in heart rate and a reduction in cortisol in the dog. It's as if your calm energy acts like an invisible blanket that regulates their nervous system. Therefore, the habit consists of dedicating at least 5 minutes a day to simply being in the same room as your furry companion, without giving commands, without petting him unless he asks for it. If he comes closer to lean against you, let him, but don't pressure him. Observe how his body gradually relaxes, how his ears tilt back slightly, and how his breathing becomes deeper. Over time, you'll notice that the space between you naturally decreases. You won't have to call him to come closer anymore. He'll seek you out because that's his safe place. Has it ever happened to you that your dog snuggles up next to you without you asking? Tell us in the comments how that closeness feels and what changes you've noticed in his behavior. Let's move on to the fifth habit, which focuses on your dog's dominant sense, smell. Every time you get home, the first thing your dog does is sniff you. That gesture isn't just a simple hello, it's a massive information gathering process that lets your dog know where you've been, what emotions you're feeling, and if there's a threat nearby. However, most owners skip this crucial step and go straight to touching the head, an area many dogs find uncomfortable because objects falling from above are often associated with a potential threat. The solution is very simple and takes barely 3 seconds. When you approach your dog, extend your hand at the level of its nose, keeping it still, without touching its face. Allow it to bring its nose close and sniff it. Once it smells you and relaxes, you can then gently stroke under its jaw or on its chest, areas most dogs find more pleasant. This brief exchange of scents communicates that you respect its way of perceiving the world and that you're giving it the opportunity to identify you before receiving affection. With practice, your dog will remember that you're the person who gives it space to recognize you, and will strengthen that bond every time you repeat the gesture. If you're already doing this, share in the comments an anecdote about how you've noticed your dog becoming more receptive after giving them that sniffing moment. The sixth habit relates to one of the most tempting activities for any dog lover, interrupting their sleep. Dogs sleep between 12 and 14 hours a day, and it's during this deep sleep phase that memory consolidation, stress hormone regulation, and tissue repair occur. When we wake them up suddenly, their brain registers a shock that, although brief, disrupts this recovery process. If this happens frequently, the dog will start looking for more hidden or less accessible places to rest, not because they no longer trust you, but because they need to feel completely safe. Therefore, the golden rule is simple: when you see your dog sleeping, walk right past them. Don't pet them, don't pick them up, and don't even speak loudly to them. Allow them to complete their sleep cycle uninterrupted. Over time, you'll notice your dog returning to your favorite resting spots because their sense of security will have been restored. Furthermore, waking up naturally, their welcome will be warmer and more energetic, as they'll have recovered all the rest they need. Has your dog changed their resting place after you started avoiding touching them while they sleep? Tell us about that transition and what difference you notice now. Finally, we come to the seventh and final habit, perhaps the most profound of all. In a pack, dogs groom each other in areas they can't reach on their own: the base of the ears, the nape of the neck, the space between the shoulder blades. This type of grooming isn't just about hygiene, it's a form of social communication that reinforces belonging and trust. When you, as a human, replicate this gesture with your dog, you activate the same neural pathways. This is a technique used among pack members to strengthen their bond. The key lies in the neck area, right where the head meets the body, and in applying light, circular pressure with your fingertips, moving slowly towards the shoulders. Imagine the rhythm of ocean waves, steady and calm. Dedicate at least 60 seconds to this massage, always when your dog is relaxed, not right after an intense play session or when they're seeking your attention for any reason. Observe how their head tilts slightly, their eyes soften or close, and their breathing deepens. This physiological response indicates a release of oxytocin, the hormone of love and bonding, in both you and your dog. With daily practice, your dog will associate this touch with safety, belonging, and unconditional love, and will seek it out whenever they need comfort. If you already practice this, share in the comments the most surprising reaction you've observed while giving this massage. By integrating these 7 habits into your routine, you'll be speaking your dog's inner language, respecting their biological and emotional needs, and creating a bond so strong they'll choose you above all others. It's not just about being a good caregiver, but about becoming their pack member, the individual who understands and satisfies their deepest instincts. If all of this resonates with you and you feel ready to transform your relationship with your best friend, leave us a comment with the word transformation and tell us which of these habits you'll try first. We'd also love for you to share this video with other owners who might be unknowingly making some of these mistakes. Every time a dog receives the kind of attention they truly need, their life improves, and so does ours. If this content has been eye-opening, give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming videos where we'll continue exploring the canine mind and how to become the best companions for our furry friends. Remember, true love is shown in small, everyday gestures. With just a few seconds a day, you can completely change how your dog perceives you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode of Canine Mind. See you soon! And remember, every small effort you make today will be the seed of trust that will blossom throughout your companion's life. If you ever have doubts, come back to this video and repeat the steps. Consistency is key. We'd love to keep learning together, so write below which habit you already practice and which one you're excited to try. If you enjoyed this science-based approach, share it with other dog lovers. Together we can create a community where every pet lives happy and safe. Until next time, take care of your pack.